Thank you, Maria Rosa, and thank you very much, Pilar. Between the two of you, you've already put it in context and explained some of the key issues that we are faced with. So I hope I do have some answers, but of course, the speakers coming after me will provide part of the answers, because you said at the start, Maria, that it will be launched by the Commission. The idea is being launched by the Commission, but we will depend on European industry to actually drive this process. It is an industrial alliance that we're talking about. And that's one of the things I want to focus on. And now, we've been talking about it for a while. The origin of the initiative is the European data strategy that the Commission launched last February. And as Pilar rightly referred to, we have, of course, several other tracks of that initiative which we are working on. We've just recently made the proposals on data governance. And in DG Connect here, we're working hard on our data strategy. The European Data Cloud Industrial Data Alliance is an important element about the physical delivery of the means to benefit from data that you saw in the data strategy. It is fostering trustworthy cloud infrastructure and services that can actually make available and then meet the twin demands of data processing and having security for that data. So as Pilar has referred to, we already have strong political endorsement of the initiative. That's in October, when all member states signed a joint declaration endorsing the launch of the European Alliance, and also called for ambitious investments in this area and committed to investing, to co-investing. Of course, now we have to look at the industry side, and in December, Commissioner Breton hosted a roundtable of industry CEOs, both, of course, from the provider's point of view as well as the key users, in order to then take in hand the need for the industry wing of this Cloud Federation project. Why are we doing it? Well, it's a massive market opportunity for Europe, as well as the strong growth in the software market and the role that Europe plays there. The development of edge computing and the need to have more distributed and decentralized computing is essential as the real-time use of data and data processing accelerates. And that's something which our industry experts will be able to explain better than I. But just a key figure that shows the trend is that by 2025, we expect that 80% of all data processing activities will take place at the edge of the network, not in centralized data centers, which is the case today. And so that's a change which will be captured by new technologies, and that's where Europe comes into it. We have a strategic interest as well as an economic interest in doing so, because we have to be in the lead of that technology, this edge computing. That is what the Alliance will do in order to ensure that Europe can benefit immediately from these new data technologies. But we also have to ensure data sovereignty and data security, making sure that just as we seek to pool the data in the European data spaces, that data is actually safe, particularly commercial industrial data, that it receives the same level of protection that we already insist and require for personal data. We also want to see vendor neutral solutions, and a key issue, and we will come back to this I'm sure, is that we have to make sure that the new generation of cloud computing is moving us towards our goal of the Green Deal, that there is climate neutrality and sustainability inherent in this infrastructure. So Europe has key strengths that we can build on. We have a strong presence in the software market, as I've said. We have expertise in system integration, and we have a lot of industrial know-how. Now we have to marry all that together, including, for example, the huge efforts that we have made in the development of IoT systems and in applications, as well, of course, our very strong telecom sector, who will have a key role to play in the delivery of this more decentralized computing. So we hope that the Alliance will focus on new, highly innovative services that are not yet offered at scale. This is not an attempt to reproduce the old commodity data infrastructure, which is the computer center. That's not the point of this initiative, and nobody should doubt that. We're building a choice for European public and private sectors as the new technology comes about. It requires important investments, and that will be made available through the new funding instruments that we have. The Digital Euro program, which actually has a specific line for these cloud and data infrastructures. The Connecting Europe facility, particularly for the cross-border interconnections and that connectivity layer that we need for this European Federation of Cloud. And we will also have funding from Horizon Europe with regards to the more innovative pieces of technology that have yet to be put in place. All of that will cover the different stages of the industrial cycle. But of course, the money that we're able to put forward at a European level is only a small part of what is required. Let's be realistic about that. It has to be complemented by private and national investments. And that's why the Recovery and Resilience Facility is a key once-off opportunity to actually channel national investments. And we must look at that as well. So anyway, the alliance itself, by the way, we've changed the title. The title, because you just heard me mention it, is now the Alliance for Industrial Data, Edge and Cloud, because of the importance of edge computing. Well, that will be launched early this year, and it is, of course, central to all of the technical and policy ambitions that I've just referred to. Another element is that it will be, going forward, a key stakeholder platform for planning our initiatives and building the strategic partnerships that Europe needs in research, development, rollout, and so on, to have that next generation EU cloud and edge technology that we all need. The Alliance will also ensure close cooperation with GaiaX, and I know a number of questions are asked about that. The Alliance will act as a bridge between the Commission's priorities and the GaiaX initiative. And let me just say a word about that, because there is no attempt to duplicate activities. GaiaX is already showing that it will play a key role. It has a unique position in developing standards for interoperability and cloud federation, and really articulating the user needs, the big industry needs and the SME needs with regard to these advanced cloud services. And then the investment that comes through the Alliance and the innovation in technology will take that on board and will actually ensure that the technology as it is deployed meets the requirements of what is being expressed by that work being done by GaiaX. And at the same time, of course, it can broaden existing initiatives such as GaiaX to make sure that it is pan-European, that all European countries and that all European business players have the opportunity to avail of this Europe-wide network. And Pilar has mentioned the Cloud Rulebook. I have to say to her, given the very important role that she has played in developing the regulatory framework so far, this rulebook, they're not new rules. It will try to bring on board all of the existing rules as they exist and put them together with the key industry standards, and including those that have been developed by self-regulation and the codes of conduct, so that in one place we have a clear and transparent set of guiding principles and rules where there is European law, in order to make it clear that these are the things that any provider of these services should offer. And really to close on that point, because in showing those rules, in creating this initiative, we don't want to close the European market. That has also been said, and it is not true. We want to become a global hub for data processing, and we need all of the global actors to contribute to that. However, given the context of data security, of the huge sensitivity about industrial data, about the sincere doubts that people have with regard to the powers of third country governments to demand access that their providers have to European data, to the industrial espionage that we have seen in the past, we actually have to strike the right balance between our own strategic autonomy and that open market for data services, which is already very vibrant in Europe. So the Commissioner has said Europe should not be naive, but Europe is open. So that's why the governance of the Alliance is very important. It's currently being elaborated, and it will be partly decided by the industry themselves. But it has to meet our requirements in terms of security, data sovereignty, as well as sustainability, which I come back to that point. It's another requirement which will be first and foremost in the rules as we go forward with regard to the use of power, etc., and climate neutrality. So those are a whole lot of important considerations which I look forward to discussing with you. But let's be clear, the time to act is now. The Commissioner has set a very ambitious timetable to the industry to come up with mobilizing their efforts so that we can then strategize investments with the member states, with the new MFF, to ensure that Europe has this new cutting edge data processing capacity. Thank you very much.